Anxiety can be a nightmare. It's actually a good thing. It's there to try and help us, but sometimes we can be our own worst enemy and we can really bring it on ourselves. In this video, I'm going to talk about that and how to take back control. So keep watching, and this could possibly change your life or somebody you know's life. Anxiety. So I've just written a book about anxiety and how to get past it. And the first chapter is called Anxiety is a Good Thing. Anxiety is a good thing because it's the fight or flight system. When you feel anxious, it's meant to be for a time of danger or perceived danger so that we do something about it. If we didn't have it and there was some danger and we weren't really that bothered, then we'd get killed back in the day. These days, we're a little bit safer, but still, we still have to have it. If you don't have this system, you're in a lot of trouble. So we've got it. The problem is, back in the day, a long time ago, we needed it for serious things. For bears, for fires, for intruders, for all sorts of things, it being in the wild and being wild animals ourselves. And so it was always on, off, because if something happens over there, you're not sure what it is, you get anxiety, you might get sweaty, you might get nervous, and then your adrenaline's pumping and you're ready to take some action, some physical action. So you go over, you check it out, everything's fine, you come back, it goes back to normal. Then something happens over there, and throughout the day, lots of different things can happen. So you're in and out of this safety system going on and off, returning back to its baseline. And so this is good. But these days, we don't have much to be concerned about as far as real anxiety. You think about it today, before you watch this video, what's really happened that's genuinely worth giving you any anxiety for? Nothing. There's been no attacks, there's been no car crashes, I hope. There's been nothing really crazy going on. So in normal day-to-day life, that is. So you don't need it. Therefore, it's not being used. Therefore, your subconscious mind uses it for things it's not necessary for, because it's always about immediate danger. But we can be worried about things that are not dangerous as though it's immediate danger. I'll give you an example. Somebody could be going to a job interview and they're terrified, they're nervous. Somebody could be doing a speech at a wedding and it ruins the day. They're terrified, they're nervous because the subconscious mind has confused this event with something that's actually really dangerous. So it's giving you all these feelings to not do it. It's basically keeping you away from dangerous situations, but it's confusing what's dangerous and what isn't dangerous. And this is where we have to be really careful, because when we allow that to happen and continue to happen, this is where we get a vicious circle where we feel anxious about something and then it gets worse because we go round in circles. The subconscious mind makes anxiety a habit, which is the last thing we want. Just like brushing your teeth in the morning or having your breakfast or putting a sugar in a coffee, you just do it automatically. And so all of a sudden you've got anxiety running circuit around your mind consistently because you've made it a habit. This is something to be aware of, and this is something to reverse by stopping yourself thinking about whatever it is you shouldn't be thinking about and thinking about something you should be thinking about. And you teach your subconscious mind enough of that, this is what we should be doing. So that brings me to things we've got to avoid, because we can get ourselves into an anxious state because the subconscious mind is ready to be in an anxious state all the time. So we can feed the subconscious mind what it wants. It wants to keep us safe, and it wants to overwork, like having a security guard that's always like this around you when there's no one there. And so you give it any opportunity and it will. So firstly, negative people give me anxiety. That's for sure. And usually I'll help them, but if they're people that are not clients, then I can't have them near me. I don't want to hear negative stories. I don't want to hear the news, for example. Watching the news, cut that out straight away. If it's really important, in my view, you will find out about it one way or another. You don't need to watch the news because you are inviting negativity into your mind. Horrific stories, things that make you nervous, things that make you scared, when in the grand scheme of things, you can't do anything about. So people that are negative, things on that TV that are negative, mobile phones with, you get a lot of people that put things on social media now as if their life is amazing. And sometimes their life is amazing, but most people that you know, their lives aren't really like that. They'll never put pictures of a really bad day. Some people do, but most people don't put a picture of a bad day, an argument, what really happened. You know, people can be drinking champagne on a boat and take a picture, but still be arguing with each other and hate the world. You know, so one thing to cut out is actually believing the hype, and if you have to, just cut out looking at it altogether. If you can't get out of that hype that we've been sucked into, so cut those things out, and they can't bother you. Another thing that we do is we forget about our boundaries. So we'll say yes to things that we don't want to say yes to, and we all do it. I'm getting a lot better at saying no because I'm getting older, but we all still do it. And every time you say yes to something you don't want to do, you're saying no to something that you do want to do, because that time that you're doing this thing, you should be doing something that you do want to do, even if this other thing is doing nothing. If you prefer to do nothing than doing whatever it is you've agreed to do to help someone or whatever it is, then that's a nightmare. You want to be doing whatever it is, whatever the other option is, that's what you should be doing. So learn to say no. And a great way to do this is by practicing and thinking. There's always this person. It's my boss, it's my work colleague, it's my sister, it's my brother, it's my mother. They're always asking me to do this, to do this. So let's practice. They ask me, this is how I'm going to say it. This is what I'm going to say. Or you could even broach the subject before they've even asked you. Listen, I need to speak to you about something. You're always asking me to babysit at the weekend, and I've got to be honest, I just don't want to do it anymore. And I just want to be truthful with you. You know, these kind of conversations, not, I'll go on, I'll do it again. And then having anxiety because you feel under pressure, you feel used, and you don't want to do whatever it is. So think about strengthening your boundaries 100%. That changes everything. The next thing to talk about is work. Work's a difficult one because need money, got to work. Sometimes there's not lots of options there. But the best time to look for a job is when you've got a job. The best time to educate yourself is when you've got a job. Best time to progress within a job is when you've got a job. So if you are working and you're doing something you don't like, you need to stop it. But you can't just walk out. Normally, if you've got loads of money, walk out. If you've got enough and you're not doing it for the money, then don't do it. But if you really need to be there, then you need to find a plan to get out and put some hours in to learn a skill to do something else. Find something you love or at least like, because if you do something you hate, you will regret it forever. You'll regret it every day you do it, and you'll regret it in the future that you never stopped doing it earlier. And this is a huge thing. They're all huge things, but please don't keep going somewhere. And I've had a chat recently with somebody that's in a situation where they're not 100% happy. And I said to them, keep going and keep smiling, because it's a toxic environment. I said, keep smiling and keep doing your job, because you need to get paid. And you've got this other thing that you're working on. And every time somebody does something that you don't like in work, you can smile and just think, yep, that's good because I've got this other thing going on. This is not my life. And you can treat me like this, you can talk like this, but I will be gone. And you'll all be really surprised. So this is a great way of getting around that, by having this side business, this side plan for business that nobody knows about. You're working on it, and then one day you transition, and then you're off. And then you're super happy with what you're working on, and then you create happiness in every single part of your life. Maybe not happiness, but being content. And being content makes you happy most of the time. So this is a good plan. Avoid arguments. Avoid arguments with people, particularly friends, obviously online. Don't comment on anything. Somebody puts something, you don't agree with it, who cares? Who cares? You can argue with somebody on the other side of the world about the most ridiculous thing and waste a minute or a day or even a year. Forget them. Forget them. Don't bother. It's like people that support two different sports teams arguing. No one's going to win. No one's going to get anywhere. And all it's going to do is cause that anxiety because you're in an argument with someone. So your subconscious mind feels threatened. That's why you get those feelings of need to win. So just avoid them. Walk away, even run away. As soon as somebody starts talking to me, if I'm out and about and they start saying anything that's kind of there's no point talking about it. Just say, listen, I've got to go. I'm just gone. And that might seem rude, but it's much better than arguing or talking about waste of time stuff. It's just, what's the point? Life, people say life's short. Life isn't short. Life's great. But let's not waste our time talking about stupid things and arguing about pointless things that don't matter. So that's what my top tip is. Run away from idiots, basically. Don't let anybody give you anxiety, and learn what your triggers are, because this is what we all do. This makes us feel sad. We're still doing it a month later, a year later. This person, every time I see them, I just feel negative. Still your friend in 5 years. This job, oh God, I hate it. 6 years, what have you done about it? Nothing. All these different things, and we're all guilty of it because we get complacent. And consistency is good, but when it's consistently negative, that's terrible. So think about what I've just said in this video, make the relevant changes, and add to this list of things, because there's many more things. Add to this list and put them in the comments below. I'd love to read about them. So thank you very much for watching. Share this with somebody that needs to see this, somebody that possibly needs to say no more or just stay out of arguments, and I will see you in the next video.